Welcome back to the Hoodie's Fantasy Football Podcast. This is episode 89. We got week 8 studs and duds. I got my dog with me here, MFB.
Yes, sir.
No BBTB. We gave him the day off for his birthday. Happy birthday, BBTB. Woo! Donkey boy. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the QB studs. At the very top, we got Jordan Love, 28.3 fantasy points. Who picked it up? Was not doing so hot last few weeks.
He wasn't. I think it's good to see him back here. You know what I'm saying? Like, the offense has been good.
Yeah.
They definitely abused the Steelers' secondary. Threw for 3 TDs, threw for over 350 yards. Homie's a menace. He torched him. What can I say?
I think he was trying to show off, against Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? That was kind of like a...
Maybe. Ain't no Aaron
I don't
Rodgers revenge game.
No, yeah, for sure not.
I think he used it already on the Jets this year.
Yeah, low key, because he loves the Green Bay Packers. So like he was not there trying to like dog them, but he was out there doing his thing. Anyways, Drake May, 26.28 fantasy points. He's just I put him on the sits list. Do not sit Drake May under any circumstance. That fool's a dog, bro. Solidified, been solidified, and now just reconfirmed it. Do not sit Drake
He's
May.
actually been ranked top 10. I know in studs we do like the top 5 or a couple,
Yeah.
But he's been a top 10 in all but 2 games this year.
Okay. Crazy. Yeah, man. He was definitely like a late round sleeper QB that you could have taken like 8th round or so, or maybe a little earlier, but still very good overall. Been doing his thing. Jalen Hurts, 25.36 fantasy points. They thrashed the Giants. The revenge game after the Giants, dogged them on Thursday night 2 weeks back. So good for Jalen Hurts. Even without A.J. Brown, they did their thing out there. Justin Herbert, 25.28 fantasy points. Just went to town on the Vikings on Thursday night. And the Vikings were generally a pretty good defense overall. I like to chalk it up to him getting his lineman back, Joe Alt. That made a big difference. Definitely, clearly making a difference for Justin Herbert.
Joe Alt is a major factor. For like Herbert in the pocket.
Yeah, making him feel comfortable, right? That'll do it for the quarterbacks. I mean, there's a couple more names that we could throw out there. Tua went through 4 touchdowns and yada yada yada. Typically, in my opinion, if you got less than 25 fantasy points, you did good, but you're not like a stud. You know what I mean? So I didn't really put any other quarterbacks in the list. I just put the ones that I think were just top. I mean, Flacco had 24, Tua 24, Bo Nix 23.8, Josh Allen 23. Just throw their names out there. Anyways, let's move on to the wide receiver studs. At the very top, I'm still shocked. This is the stud of the week. Troy Franklin, 23.9 fantasy points. Went out there and got 2 touchdowns against Dallas.
That's what happens when you play the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see Sutton's name in here, but we've talked about how they distribute the ball a lot over there in Denver. Next on the list, Rashee Rice, Monday Night Football. Did his thing, man. He's continuing to look like a dog. 21 fantasy points. Just, picking
I'll
up
be
right where
surprised, bro.
Not surprised, but I think he's meeting expectations and then a little bit. Like people were kind of like hyping him up after the suspension. Like, he's going to come back. He's going to be a dog. He's going to be this, going to be that. He's been, putting up great numbers. Like
he has been a dog.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, come on, you don't even if you had he did 9 for 93 on 9 targets and a touchdown. He had 2 rush attempts for 12 yards. But yeah, no, he's definitely Mahomes' favorite target. Mahomes is happy to have him back. couple more names here. Michael Pittman, 19.5 fantasy points. The number one option for Daniel Jones over in that Colts offense. He's pretty. He's like wide
He's been
receiver
having
two worthy.
a quiet, good year.
Yeah, he's been sneakily good throughout the season. Very good late ad if you had him in your draft. Jalen Waddle, 18.4 fantasy points in a game where he had no business doing all that against the Falcons, but
that game was just interesting.
But
a little fact about Jalen Waddle, right, is without Tyreek, he's averaging about 15 PPR points per game.
That makes sense. So, I would have expected that after the Tyreek injury, RIP Tyreek.
So he's probably a lock every week to do solid.
Yeah. He's kind of boomer bust. He had a week where he had against Cleveland had 2 fantasy points. So his floor is low.
This number is including that week, which is what's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean crazier.
For that week that you run him out there, you're gonna, you might end up, it'll hurt you, but hopefully he doesn't do that again. Lad McConkey on Thursday night with Justin Herbert to go along with him, 17.8 fantasy points. Did his thing. The thing about the receivers in Los Angeles there with Justin Herbert, he kind of also distributes the ball. And we'll talk about when we get to there's other studs and duds. But anyways, Khalil Shakir for the Bills did his thing, 17.8 fantasy points. Also another team where there is no true wide receiver one, and you just have players that pop off and players that don't do anything. So.
I feel like I'd be kind of fine starting Shakir though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like as far as any pass catcher on Buffalo, I'd be okay starting Shakir. Yeah, but not really any of the other ones.
The most comfortable start of the rest or of the bunch, but yeah, you're not obviously excited to start him. He's not a very exciting name, but yeah, he did his thing. I'm out there and got good fantasy production this week. That's it for the wide receivers. Let's move on to the running backs. At the very tippy top, probably every week continuously. Jonathan Taylor, man, another 3 touchdown game, 36.4 fantasy points, getting it done, going crazy, having a career year. Just a dog.
I mean, this guy's a menace. The Colts are just like crazy right now, bro. The Colts are like some of the most efficient, like just fire offense.
They would be undefeated if they didn't have that turnover by Adonai Mitchell, or where he dropped the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they would be, yeah.
Crazy, man. Or they could more likely have been, because you don't know what would happen. But anyways, James Cook, 33.6, bounced back after 2 dead games before the bye. I feel like I kind of not. I won't say I saw this coming, but I felt like he was due to be back. Not that he had a terrible game against Atlanta, but
he came back hard against the Panthers, the poor Panthers. But it's kind of weird because he doesn't really see targets, and his usage is just so all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of like going back to pre-draft. Was kind of make me slightly fade him, or at least have a question mark on him. It's because like the usage is like weird, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's not a guy that sees 70% plus of the rushes, but he's so efficient on all his touches at the ball anyway. That he's putting up numbers like this.
I mean, he had over his first 4 games, he had, what is that, like 13 targets, and then the last 3 games he's had 1.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That puts me off a little bit about him. But hey, he's getting it done on the ground, so.
No, he's a dog. I mean, they paid him to do it, right? Breece Hall, 31.86 fantasy points.
He threw a touchdown.
Oh, no way. That's where the points. That's crazy. Who did he throw it to?
I feel like it was Mason Taylor, maybe. I don't even know. I don't remember.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Wow, that's so fun. I saw a touchdown and I realized it was Breece still on the ball. Cincinnati's gives up the number 1 points to the running back positions. So, do you think they trade Brees away, the Jets, or do you think they keep him?
Nah, at this point, no.
Okay. Yeah, he did his thing. He goes into the bye week. I think it's Cleveland, New England. So let's see if he can do it again. Probably not in those next 2 weeks. Saquon Barkley, 31.6 fantasy points. Had a little bit of an injury near the end of the game there. Apparently he'd be all right. He had one receiving touchdown, one rushing touchdown, 150 rushing yards. This is kind of like what you wanted Saquon to do, like he did last year. And we haven't really seen it from him. So this is his first huge game where he just went out there and went crazy. So people that had Saquon, you're happy about it. If you have him, cool. If you played against him, tough. Chase Brown, 24 fantasy points. Also kind of what you expected out of Chase Brown when you drafted him. And he hasn't been able to do it without Joe Burrow, but did it against the Jets, and but they still lost that game, so that's tough.
A very tough L, but I mean, they have a soft schedule coming up, especially for rushing. So
Yeah.
it's looking up for Chase Brown, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the Samaje Perine coming in a lot and taking a lot of passes specifically.
Yeah, the passing game work tends to go to Perine. And Perine's been, I mean, he was with the team for a while, and then he went to Chiefs, I think, for a year last year, and I think he's back with the Bengals. So he's been there. He's kind of a veteran. So I mean, he does his thing. They like him. So a couple more names here. RJ Harvey, 23.6 fantasy points against Dallas. Start everyone against Dallas.
Facts.
Kamani Vidal on Thursday night, 19.1. Derrick Henry, finally, 19.1 fantasy points. If you're a Henry owner, you're juiced. And he gets Miami next week.
Also gets Miami.
Oh, yeah, we saw.
But they stopped Bijan, so I don't even know anymore. But who knows?
We'll see. But yeah. That's it for RBs. Do you want to highlight any of these guys?
No.
RJ Harvey played 27% of offensive snaps. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see his use come more, but just gonna have to wait for Dobbins to get injured or something. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Tough for him. He's injury prone, so it could happen. That's it for RB studs. Let's move on to tight ends. Tucker Kraft at the very top, 29.8 fantasy points, man, on National Tight Ends Day. 2 touchdowns, went crazy.
He straight backpacked me in one league.
No shot. I bet, man. 29.8 fantasy points was crazy. Man. Yeah, man. He's one of those players that if you got him late, he's very, very good, man. When he pops off, he pops. Yeah. Dallas Goedert, 2 touchdowns, 16.3 fantasy points, did his thing against the Giants. This name popular, Oronde Gadsden, the Chargers tight end, 16.2 fantasy points.
Homie been doing solid, bro. Target shares the last 3 games, 21%, 17%, and 21%. So they utilize this guy heavily.
Okay. Is he, in your opinion, is he a trade for or trade away target or just hold?
I mean,
I asked this because I have an opinion on this.
Well, what's your opinion first, I guess? Let me see.
I say trade him away.
You also sound far away all of a sudden. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm not sure what happened. I said trade him away.
Trade away?
Yes.
Well, who would you trade him for?
I don't know. So whoever.
Because if you're trading a tight end away, you probably need a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, the way tight ends have been looking, you probably had a tight end. You picked up Gadsden, right? So you had someone on your team that you were.
Oh, yeah. If you picked up Gadsden and you're fine with some other tight end, yeah, you should definitely try to upgrade somewhere else.
I would definitely reach out to someone who needs a tight end, especially if someone has tight end going on.
Yeah.
There's not that many tight ends.
I think tight end's a position or similar to QB, right? Yeah. Maybe less so QB because QB is easy to stream. But tight end, there's no real solid tight ends. Everybody's anxious about their tight ends week in and week out.
Yep.
So if somebody threw like me Gadsden and I have like I don't know, like I'm starting Colston Loveland or I'm starting who knows, like I don't want to say Goddard, he just went dumb. But like
Yeah.
if I'm starting Mark Andrews, you know,
Yeah.
then I'll be like, okay, let me hear this offer because Mark Andrews is not doing
Yeah.
shit for me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it just
I,
depends like who I have.
I think the reason I say to trade him away, it may be a bad take. We may look back on this in 3 weeks and be like, "Oh, you're an idiot." Um, but I know they're utilizing him. I know they like him. The team likes him. I think Justin Herbert, or it was the team, or I don't know. I saw a quote that said like they were saying good things about him, and even in camp and stuff like that. But I think just with the Chargers, it can rotate between any of the receivers, including in Gadsden being. I mean, he's a tight end, right? But they just he could just disappear. You know what I mean? For a week, and so like
Mm-hmm.
he's had good tight end matchups. They played Miami, then the Colts, which were good matchups. Minnesota was not the best matchup, but they really, I mean, he had 5 targets, 5 receptions, 77 yards, I think all on that first drive and a touchdown, and then nothing.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll
Yeah.
spin it this way, right? Like he could disappear for a week, sure. But
Yeah.
the last 3 weeks, he didn't disappear.
Yeah.
That says something to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, he's due to disappear eventually, but he'll probably come back the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. I just think if you can
You
get,
know,
if someone really wants him and they're willing to pay, then I would offload him, especially if you have another tight end that's decent enough that you can do it. A couple more names here. Harold Fannin, 15.4 fantasy points. I mean, the Browns still ended up losing that game. Kittle, 12.3 fantasy points. I think I said he would score National Tight Ends Day. He didn't do as much as I thought he would. But they got kind of worked by Houston. So tough for them.
100%.
That does it for the studs. Let's move on to the duds at the very top. For QBs, Baker Mayfield, 4.08 fantasy points. This kind of sucks, especially because Baker coming in this year, he kind of like coming in kind of hot, talking a lot, saying all this stuff like, oh, they played the Panthers and he's like, oh, this is, the guy, this is who let me go when I was on the Panthers and blah, 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 like revenge games and all this stuff. And I don't know, he's on this like whole revenge arc type thing. And he was killing it, balling. And everyone was like, oh, Baker, everyone loves Baker. And then just last 2 games has not been cutting it, man, not been getting it done. How do you feel about Baker?
I think this is just a matter of the like what I call the regression reaper coming in
Mm-hmm.
and bringing homies back down to earth.
Okay.
Obviously, it hit him really hard this game. Also a weird game because like every offensive drive looked really bad, but they still won the game off 2 defensive pick sixes, I believe.
Yep.
So I think eventually like he'll pick it back up. I think he won't score this low again.
They're going to the bye, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, they hopefully after the bye they'll figure it out. But yeah, man, it's been tough for that team, and for Baker the last 2 weeks. Dak, 6.60 fantasy points, couldn't get it done against the Broncos. The Broncos shut him down, even with Pat Surtain leaving that game. Dak just struggled. Caleb Williams, 11.8 fantasy points. I mean, Caleb Williams is so interesting because he seemed to like start off so hot early on in the season, and you're playing against one of the less strong defenses in the Ravens, and just couldn't get it done, man. Interesting. How do you feel about the Bears offense in general?
Man, I mean, I liked what they were doing beginning of the year. It's just his completion percentage is just down the drain, bro. Like it's just I don't know what's up with him. The first 3 weeks it was fire, right? They
Yeah.
kind of been like bailed out somewhat with like the run game being good, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but Caleb just got to do better, bro. Like they got the pieces, they got better plays now, they got better play calling. He just has to step up and do better.
What they need to do is feature DJ more because they keep going to Odunze, and Odunze is doing his thing, but it's like, bro, you have a talented receiver who's kind of in his prime at 28 years old. Like he's in like this is like the peak of his career, where the peak should be in his career. And they're like, yeah, let's just do little screen passes to him. Let's use him for little short screen passes, and then let's involve him in some rushing plays. That'll really trick up the other defenses that we're playing against. Like, bro, it's not working, man. You guys have been doing that for the last however many weeks. Feature DJ Moore, man. Use him. If you're not going to use him, trade him away. If you're not going to trade him away, then use him. And they're just doing this weird, like, oh, here, jet sweep. DJ Moore, run. Oh, you got 2 yards. Oh, man, it'll work next time, I promise. Like, I don't think he's gotten... Actually, I'm going to pull up DJ Moore's stat line really quick, just for funsies. This is very personal for me because I have him. I drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have more than 10 rushing yards on the season. 3 rushing attempts, 8 yards. 3 rushing attempts, 7 yards. 2 rushing attempts, 10 yards. 1 rush attempt, 9 yards. 2 rushing attempts, 3 yards. Like, you have DeAndre Swift. Why are you trying to mix this in? If he's mixing in DJ Moore and DJ Moore's popping off 30-yard runs, like, oh, all right, cool, man. You're utilizing him and it's working. It's throwing off defenses and really getting things done. Like, I don't know what's his face he's doing.
I mean, it could just be like a scheme or disguise, right? Where like they have to actually give it to him on those plays, and then they'll disguise the same, like the same lineup of the play, but it'll be different,
Yeah,
So
yeah. I just think Ben Johnson is not utilizing him. I think maybe he just doesn't like him. He just doesn't F with him. So he's like, you know what? I don't really need you in this offense. We'll use you for short dump offs. But yeah, anyways, that offense moves through Odunze. That's it for the QB duds. Let's move into wide receivers. Number 1, Thursday Night Football, Quentin Johnston, 0 targets, 0 catches, just disappeared out of the game.
Yeah, bro. It hasn't. I mean, with the surgence of Arande, it hasn't been good for QJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his first 4 games, he was averaging a target share per game rate of 25%. And that's been down to 12%, 11%, and 0% on the last 3 games.
Man, yeah, are you worried about Quentin Johnston?
I mean, look, I'm the guy that said he'll disappear for the rest of the season.
And we were like, haha.
And then he popped off the next week, right? But hey, look, the thing about me, bruh, is I'm going to be right eventually. Okay?
Yeah, I guess.
But I don't know, man. He might pop off a couple more games, but it's like if they keep utilizing Ladd, right? Because we also saw like Ladd wasn't seeing targets and it was going to QJ, right? Remember?
Yeah.
It might be a Ferris wheel type of deal. Or they just phase out QJ and keep using Arande and Keenan Allen and Ladd.
Crazy, man. I don't get the reasoning for it or why they're doing it, but hey, it's happening. So I think that's what I was talking about, getting rid of Gadsden, because if you got a tight end that can go out and just drop you like 0 points or like even 2 points or something, then you're going to be upset. If any player drops you that amount of points. So anyways, it sucks for Quentin Johnston. Had a great start to the year. He must have made a comment about Madison Beer or something, and Justin Herbert took it personally. Smiling explanation. Jerry Jeudy, I don't know why we keep calling his name. I think he's been in the duds list 8 weeks straight. This is week 8, right? Yeah, this is week 8 duds. Yeah, he's pretty much been here every single week of the season. I think he had 1 target or 2 targets. I don't even know. He's not usable in fantasy.
Look, any non-tight end pass catcher on the Browns is just not usable, right? So
he may be just a hold and wait till they start Shador, because Dylan Gabriel is not it. So maybe they start Shador, and maybe Judy get some targets and looks,
I
but
mean,
bro,
I always preferred Cedric Tillman over Judy. And
okay.
obviously the homie's on IR now, so
Hmm.
I didn't put any much chips into Judy, honestly.
Okay. Hopefully no one that's listening did either.
Yeah.
Devo Samuel, Monday Night Football, 2.7 fantasy points, vanished off the face of the earth. With the return of McLaurin, he just was not. I mean, you had no Jaden Daniels, so not good. Last but not least, Mika Egbuka to go along with Baker Mayfield's dud performance. 5 fantasy
Yeah,
points.
this
Hate to
is a
see it.
crazy one. Um I think I'll turn it around, right? I mean, this is a rookie. Again, this is a rookie. Let's not forget, you know?
Yeah.
But he hasn't scored double-digit PPR points in 3 straight games. On a bright side, in week 8, he hit a 37.5% target share, which is a season
Golly.
high, right?
Yeah.
Because, we have no Mike Evans. Yeah. So they were just kind of forcing it to this homie any
Yep.
chance they get.
Wasn't enough. That's it for wide receiver duds. Let's move into running backs at the top. Jordan Mason on Thursday night, 1.1 fantasy points. Probably had a little something to do with Aaron Jones. He wasn't really efficient either on the
Slightly.
snap
Also,
carries.
that game script was really bad.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason had a snap share of 35%. Aaron Jones had a snap share of 54%.
Very,
So
very noteworthy. Jordan Mason, I think if I remember correctly, the first game he took over when Aaron Jones was injured, that first game he got like basically the backfield was all his. He went out and just fumbled the ball like early on in the game. And then they started including the other running back, the third string, Zach Scott. And they started using him a ton. I don't know if you watched that game. It was
I
probably,
remember that game, yeah.
yeah, so I just think he didn't do himself any favors when he got the opportunities. Um, and so like now that Aaron Jones is back, they're probably like, look, we're going to go with our veteran. We're not really, messing with it. Jordan Mason. Like you can come in relief of Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones probably has a pretty good hold in that backfield. Next on the list, Bill Jacory Krosky Merritt, 2.5 fantasy points. Yeah, this is the guy that everyone was
This
hyping
was
up, huh?
not a
In
good
preseason?
Commanders game. They also were using, but I think because of game script, like they were using Jeremy McNichols a lot.
Yeah, pass catching.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the game script will affect for sure. But this is kind of like, he's also a rookie and he fumbled a couple times in a couple of games. And so I think you kind of lose faith or you lose trust in your player if they keep fumbling the ball. Unless your name is Ramondre.
I yeah. I mean, I think this game was very game script because they still gave him all the rushes. He had 9 rushes.
But he's not, I mean, yeah. Okay. But he's not also getting it done anyways. So, but the week before, he also was very inefficient against Dallas. We saw RJ Harvey on 27% snap share, scored 2 touchdowns. So,
3 touchdowns.
3, even better. So, yeah, I don't know. Bill's trending in the wrong direction. Is he a buy low? Do you even want him on your team? He has a very good matchup schedule, especially after the bye.
I think like if you wanted to take a shot, like a buy low shot with return to Jane Daniels, offense turns around,
Yeah.
positive game script, they use Bill, yeah, fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Quinshon Judkins injured, 3.2 fantasy points. We'll chalk it up to injury. Aaron Jones also on Thursday night, 4 fantasy points. That was a bad game script. This one sucks. Bijan, 4.3 fantasy points. Oh, I would have never thought Bijan would get less than 10 fantasy points all season. I would have never thought that. If you told me he was going to get less than
That is
5 in the
crazy, I'm
game,
not gonna lie.
especially against the Miami Dolphins, man. Kirk Cousins, just retire. That's it. You're done. You don't need to play another game of football. We know what you can do, and that is absolutely nothing. Go sit on your couch. Go enjoy your time. Just retire, brother. There's no need for you to travel with the team. You're literally just a sack of potatoes. And just,
Wow.
dog water. Sorry, Kirk. Couple more names here. Ramondre, threw him in there just because people might have thought to start him. Rico Dowdle, Kamara, not doing it. I think Chuba got more carries. I actually didn't check the numbers, but yeah, Dowdle
They're like
obviously
splitting it 50-50, but they
with
need
the
to just
return of.
choose a guy and go with them.
I mean, for that, I mean,
Honestly.
they have no incentive to do that, right? They're like, oh, we have two great backs, one we paid and one that's
I mean,
we
if you
brought
want to
in.
win games, you go with the better back.
My brother, they were never going to win against the Bills. Let's be honest.
Sure, but like going forward, like
Yeah, I
they're
see
still
that.
not doing terrible.
Yeah,
Panthers have won games, so
true. Kamara, 5.5 fantasy points. Bad game script. They were just getting the defense was really on him, and Kamara's just not really been it this season.
yeah.
That's it for running backs. Any comments on these guys?
Nah.
All right, let's move into the tight end duds to close this out. Jake Ferguson with a donut, which I would not have seen coming, man.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. I mean, look, tough matchup, right? They played the Broncos.
Yep.
But also CeeDee Lamb back is like obviously gonna eat back into the target share, right? Jake
Yep.
Fergie has been in a sub 10% target share in 2 of his last 3 games. So obviously without CD, he was eating, him and Pickens. Pickens is still doing his thing. But obviously CD's going to get a chunk back.
Yeah, makes sense. He had one target in that game. Terrible. Don Kincaid, 2.8 fantasy points. You hate to see it, especially when, Josh Allen's out there chucking it. He had 3 targets, 1 reception, 23 yards against Carolina defense that gives up more points to tight ends than usual. So, anyways, unfortunate. Mark Andrews, I threw him in here because he had 4.9 fantasy points. I really thought Lamar was going to play. I think everyone thought Lamar was going to play. Even Vegas, the line was like 49.5 or 49 points or something like that. So it was a high over under. Like people were thinking, oh, it's going to be a shootout. Caleb Williams versus the return of Lamar Jackson, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, hell yeah, fire up Mark Andrews. Nope. He went to some rando tight end. It's not even it's like the third string tight end or something. I was like, what the hell? Anyways, Colston Loveland, 5.3 fantasy points. I put him in here because it's supposed to be a good game, high over under, no Komet, and then he just didn't do anything. So, that's it for tight ends. Any comments? Anything on any of these guys?
Nah, that's it.
Cool. All right. That'll do it for this episode, and we'll see you guys on the waiver episode next. Peace.